What is up, beautiful people? It's me, Tara J, back again with another video. As you know it, I'm back again with another video. Back again with another video. Back again with another video. I am so proud of myself and I hope you are too. But before we dive deep into the video and get to talking about teacher tips, I do want to make sure you guys know that I would love for you guys to subscribe to my channel. So go ahead right now, hit the subscribe button so you know every time I post a video. Hit the bell right next to the subscribe button. That'll give you some notifications to Tara J and when Tara J is giving you more. Also, let's not forget to give this video a big thumbs up because why not? I pray you enjoy it, and if you don't, sorry, maybe my next video you'll like. But besides that, let's go ahead and dive into the video, okay? Teacher tip 3, we are going to focus on assessing and learning the students' learning strategies, okay? So how do I put that in one sentence for you to actually understand? Teacher tip 3 is learning and adapting to the different learning levels in your classroom. Learning strategies, creating learning strategies, and all of that, okay? As we all know, there are all types of students nowadays and everyone learns differently. They're visual learners, touchy-feely learners. You have to be hands-on, and learners that can just actually understand what you're saying just by naturally talking to you. Me, you can give me a 3-hour speech and I'm gonna be like, yeah, you just told me how to put that card together. I need to actually put my hands on it while your hands are on it at the same exact time and do my movements with you while you're doing something. I'm definitely a hands-on learner. I'm really a good visual learning. Sometimes I can adapt in that possible way, but if I'm actually doing it while you're doing it and making the imperfections and corrections at the same time, that helps me understand a little bit better. But hey, to each his own, right? That is the focus that you need to tackle, understanding and grouping the kids, not perfectly, but adequately, if that makes sense. I would say maybe group them in groups of, have 3 different groups, a higher group, maybe they're in a group 1, you have a mid group and a group 2, and then your lower group is in a group 3. This is outside, completely outside of students that are on the spectrum or completely outside of students that have IEPs or 504 plans, because most of the times those students might tend to be lower on that scale 1, 2, 3. So I'm primarily just trying to help you come into the classroom with strategies on how to adapt to the levels of how they learn and if they are learning faster than others. One learning strategy that I did use actually on my own is I actually actively use the beginning of the year assessments. The beginning of the year assessments are always in the book. No matter what book or subject, there is a beginning of the year assessment. Most of the time, majority of the time, no, every time the beginning of the year assessment is probably over the summer packet or whatever they talked about in the school year before that. So moral of the story is use the beginning of the year assessment to just gauge what they remember, what they learned, what they retained, and all of that good stuff. It's very useful. And in reality, to be honest, most of the time I didn't even use it as a grade. I use it as an extra credit grade to allow them to get their credit, boost their grades up. I threw it in there like right before the semester ended or right before progress reports or something like that, just to give them a little bit of grace with their parents and families in the event that their grade level was a little low. Moving on from that, I'm also do active assessments. When it comes to assessments, I can dive into that a little more throughout the school year. I love to do verbal assessments, written assessments, game assessments, peer-to-peer assessments, one-on-one assessments, all of the above. You can assess in all different type of ways, and it still can equal out to them being able to, for them to be able to let you know that they've learned whatever you taught them. Okay, kind of like an exit slip per se, but we'll talk about exit slips later on down the line when we dive and get past the beginning of the school year, because that's where we're at. We're tackling the beginning of the school year now. Okay, so picking up their learning strategies. Like I said, one strategy is to group them in groups of 3 from just what all the information and data that you may have collected from their previous teacher or previous teachers or counselors or tier 1 title 1 teachers or things like that. So kind of gauge them in that possible way, just what they look like just on paper. I will group them like that. And then moving on from that, utilize the beginning of the year assessment, because that's very, very, very helpful to gauge what they need and what you need in regards to the upcoming school year when it comes to teaching the kids. After that, throughout the year, of course, use all of your different levels and types of assessments, but also another thing that is beneficial, 2 more things that I am going to list for you, is to, 1, if students are lower on the spectrum, please make sure you are differentiating your assessments and your quizzes. For instance, you do have to follow those IEPs and 504 plans when it comes to what that child requires when it comes to testing. That will help you be more successful in them as well. Maybe they need to be one-on-one testing. Maybe they need a shorter test. Maybe they need some kind of colorful sheet over it because their colors and their eyes are blending right with the white, black on the paper. It is so many things that comes with each student and just period that can hinder them with passing that assessment. But because we all know as adults or just human beings that sometimes the assessments does not equal what you actually know. You could just naturally be a bad tester, right? But you can be smart as they. So let's not judge a book by its cover, or the paper by the grade, or the student by the grade, if I could say that, okay? Moving on from that, those are the 3 things I would love for you guys. So you group them, use your assessments, actively use all your different types and ways to assess them. Use that actively through the year. Incorporate that into their grade as well. A verbal assessment can most definitely be a grade. Hello, spelling bees, right? So let's think out of the box and not what our teacher did for us, because we have to do better for the next, because the next is going to continue to do better for the next, and it's going to trink along and trink along and trink along. You feel me? But anywho, those are the top things that I love to do when it comes to gauging their learning strategies. I also like to get and pull different websites and different gaming things like Kahoot or Blooket. Blooket is one of my favorite things. When I first got introduced to Blooket, shout out to my niece. She was in 2nd grade while I was teaching 2nd grade. Well, shout out to my niece's teacher, okay? Because she was in the 2nd grade when I first started teaching 2nd grade in 2019. I wasn't her teacher, of course, obviously. But she came home one day and was like, oh, I have this cool game called Blooket. And my nephew, they're always talking about how the whole school was playing this game called Blooket. When I got on Blooket, I was like in love. So I introduced it to my 2nd grade class, and they were absolutely in love. When I say Blooket, here's a look into Blooket if you aren't sure what Blooket is at this time. Blooket is games, learning, just so many different things that you can do inside of Blooket. If you want a deep dive tutorial into Blooket, I can definitely give you another video on that. But we all know Kahoot, of course. If you don't know, Kahoot is very similar to Blooket. Blooket, as you can see, is not one of my high up on the spectrum things, but Blooket is better. I'm biased, I'm sorry. But anyway, these are 2 things that you can come up with, and they have so many other learning websites that you can also use. The kids already, they have their own websites down already from previous teachers or previous things that they've done at home, maybe their parents. So utilize their ideas as well when it comes to learning and engaging what they know and how they're interested. What makes them interested in learning? What triggers their brain in ways of say, oh, okay, this is important to me. I need to understand and listen for a second. You have to connect it to them in some possible way. So, like I said, I don't want to keep going on, but I sure can list so many more things that were very, very, very useful to me. But I don't want to have this be a 30-long video. So, if you would like a part 2 on things to do to learn there, part 2 on how to create learning strategies for the students or gauge their learning strategies, definitely comment below. And like I said, guys, as always, I am here to love the child first and educate second. I am here to help you be the best teacher you can possibly be, because I wish I had a me when I first started, okay? But anyway, as always, guys, I love you very much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell right next to it. Thumbs up, and I'm out. Peace.